Hey y'all, I want to briefly talk about America's Got Talent, the Champions. Now, the title of the video, you might be wondering, what's going on here? What do we need to talk about? Why is the format bad? Why is it whack? Well, here's the thing. American Idol 2018, I did a video talking about that last year, of course. And it was basically talking about, it was like American Idol 2018, what's the problem? Now, I mean, I enjoyed that season, but I was talking about how the format was just so bad with the voting. And I think with these talent competitions, singing competitions, reality competitions, what have you, I think entertainment is first and foremost, of course, but I think the format is super crucial for these things. And I think America's Got Talent, the Champions is doing it wrong, and it might not matter, but I think it's worth talking about. And it does it wrong in a couple ways. Not only does the base format I feel like a little too rushed, but I think this whole America voting element is a little, it just comes off as grimy and disingenuous. Those are two words you could kind of describe it as, but I'm going to go into it, okay? So first of all, I just don't like the format overall of having so many people coming for the champions, and then you've got, first of all, each episode has 10 people performing, and you go from 10 to 2 each episode. Now, one of those 2 is chosen by a golden buzzer, which is a very, I mean, it makes for nice moments and everything, of course, entertainment, but it's obviously not a fair tool because the first person going is not going to get a golden buzzer. The last person going is definitely not getting a golden buzzer. And it's really, you have to be right in the middle where they've seen enough of the people to know that you're better. And, you know, some people are just always going to miss out on it based on what time they're performing in what order, you know? So it's flawed, and since these are returning people, they might even have an idea that I might already want to use the golden buzzer on this person beforehand. It's not even like a surprise like they are intended to be. The other one is the 50 states, which I'll talk about in more detail. But the first point I wanted to make was that 10 down to 2 each episode, and those 2 arbitrary voting requirements are how they go through. Not a fun format. It's like there's no suspense. It's not actually America voting, so it's like you don't have any stake in the race. It's just like, I hope this person somehow gets a golden buzzer, and now they didn't. It's like, okay, they have barely any chance to go through. And it's like, I hope my person is the one that gets America's arbitrary votes. Now, I don't appreciate that it's rushed and it cuts down so quickly, but I also understand that this is just a spin-off kind of like just winter season version of America's Got Talent to hold over before the next full season. So I understand it's supposed to be like short and to the point, and this is kind of how they had to do it in that regard. But where it gets dicey is with this whole America's Vote thing. Now, that's the thing. I want to explain it to you, but I can't. They didn't explain it to us. It's not America voting each week, but rather they say there are super fans from all 50 states are voting on this. And they give no explanation to who these super fans are, when they were selected, how they were selected, where they're voting from, how they're voting, in what capacity are all these 50 states represented. Simon refers to them as 50 states. Howie says America's got to vote, and it just seems so disingenuous. Because what reason do we have to believe that there are actually super fans voting? And this is like some political stuff for what they like our representatives. We didn't elect these people to speak on behalf of all of America. Where are these super fans from the 50 states coming from? And that's the problem. They didn't explain it at all. I remember when the rules came out, like, they posted a little clip before the season started talking about how the rules would go. Like, this many people go down to this each week, and then, or each episode, and then basically a quick rundown of the format. And it's like, it just seemed like, oh, we're going to be voting. And now it's like, okay, we don't have any say whatsoever. This is just like a winter special, basically, is what we're watching. Like, because the problem with shows like this, you want them to feel genuine. And America's Got Talent always has those moments where it's like, is this really genuine? They're always pushing these packages, produced packages about like the sob stories each person has. So it's like they're always pushing some agenda. And it's like, all right, I'm fine with it. That's just America's Got Talent's thing at this point. But this is like one step further to where it's like, it feels like you're betraying the audience's trust, because you're either not trusting your audience enough to tell them the full truth, how these super fans are voting, or these super fans aren't really super fans at all, and they're just like people you've hired, producers just making the decision, and like they have no way to disprove that super fans are actually voting, but we've never seen the super fans, so it's very weird. And then Terry Crews will come and break down, and he'll be like, after the votes are read, or when we're narrowed down to the final 3 of each episode, he'll be like, okay, so you had 70% of the Southern vote. What? And then you had 56% of ages 18 to 24. Cool. Like, they really presented it like it's an election, and yet there's no actual voting that we can tangibly know of. These super fans, there was no, I don't remember them ever talking about, like, if you're a super fan, come and do this, like your own audition process to do it. It's probably like a Craigslist ad, if anything, where they're just like, yo, anyone, you want to come and vote on these things? But it's very strange. So that's the problem I have with the format. It's too rushed, but I understood that this is just a mini thing. It's not a full season, so gonna make some sacrifices to make it quicker. But if they could do that and still have people actually voting, America actually voting, and not some weird unknown entity, that would be cool. But it just kind of takes the suspense out, because it's not like, oh man, I know the voters are huge Angelica Hale and Courtney Hadwin fans, so it would be really an upset if somehow someone else got more votes than them. I just go into each result thinking, well, they could literally vote for whoever, and it doesn't matter how popular, how good they were. We don't know who's actually picking these things, so it's like, how can I root for or say anyone has a better chance than anyone else when there's nothing to base it on? It's just someone's getting randomly voted through. So far, it's not like the results have been horrible. There was one week where I didn't really like the results, but so far they've been pretty decent. It's just like, I don't know, I have a feeling they might have done this to subvert the fact that all the international people probably wouldn't have gotten voted through, is my guess. Because like America's Got Talent people would just have more popularity in America, and they would just get more votes. Maybe that's it. I don't know. But it's still very shady. I don't like it. You want to have full disclosure with these kinds of things when it's a show. America's Got Talent has a show that was founded on America voting on the winner, and now we have no actual viewer involvement at all until at least the finals. I'm hoping at the finals we're voting for the winner, but who knows? Maybe the 50 states will.